So, with the new annual release of Call of Duty and the fact that crossplay can't be turned off in the Xbox and PC versions of the game, it has once again brought back an ongoing conversation about crossplay and what's considered fair and unfair. But it wasn't always this way. Crossplay was first introduced a few years ago and was mostly accepted with open arms by everybody, if I remember right. I remember being really excited to be able to play with people on games that would die somewhat quickly on PC, which is ironic that Call of Duty has brought this conversation back up because it is a prime example of this. You see, back in the day, Call of Duty would die within a couple of months on PC, and it would quickly be populated by bots and modders, given how much easier it is to mod on PC. And this would make buying Call of Duty for PC kind of stupid, because half of the game would be pretty much unplayable if you bought it at any time after a couple months out from release. Call of Duty isn't the only example, but it is the most prominent one in my mind. So, crossplay solved the problem of not being able to find games because the PC user base wasn't large enough, but this also brought with it a lot of problems, the most obvious one being the disparity between mouse and keyboard and controller users. Now, it was always possible to plug a mouse and keyboard into an Xbox and own lobbies of controller-throwing 10-year-olds.
I'm gonna kill you until... Liquidator neutralized. You're a freaking cheater! Stop hitting me!
But it definitely wasn't as common as in our current crossplay for all types of multiplayer gaming environment. With the implementation of crossplay, most console players were at a distinct disadvantage, so gaming companies decided that something had to be done to once again balance the scales. Enter aim assist. Games have always had varying degrees of aim assist, dating back to some of the first shooters, but it was always the same aim assist for everybody when it came to multiplayer experiences. In order to preserve game balance and a sense of fairness, I guess, this would have to be kicked up, and so it was, but as it sometimes is willing to happen, an overcorrection was made. This was really brought into focus when Halo Infinite launched last year, and the aim assist while using a controller was some of the strongest that we'd ever seen. It was so extreme that a lot of the people who would normally use mouse and keyboard, myself included, were forced to adopt a controller to remain even somewhat competitive. I know it's possible to win and to do really well on mouse and keyboard, but I mean, the stats don't lie. I mean, this graph that I found shows that controllers are 10% more accurate than keyboard and mouse, which, I mean, it may not sound like a lot, but it could be all the difference in close gunfights when every bullet counts. And this is being done in more and more games, which brings us to this year's Call of Duty, which some are saying have aim assists that are just as bad as Halo's. Now, I don't know if this is actually true. There aren't graphs or anything like that out yet, and as of writing this, I haven't played it yet because it's expensive and I don't have a lot of money. But I wouldn't be surprised if the aim assist did turn out to be significant. Call of Duty has always gotten most of their sales on consoles anyways, so they definitely give those players a leg up and an unfair advantage to potentially piss off the PC base rather than the other way around. This doesn't even take into account the prevalence of hackers, modders, and cheaters on PC. While it is possible to cheat on console, it is a lot bigger of a problem on PC due to free online play and not needing to have a modded Xbox or PlayStation. Call of Duty has already been fighting an ongoing war with these losers.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big...
They put in Ricochet anti-cheat, and they've already said that it's going to be active on day one of the launch of Modern Warfare 2, but it hasn't been enough to ease some people's concerns, because from what I can understand, Warzone has been dealing with hackers and cheaters for a while, and it's been pretty bad. This has led to an unfortunate situation where nobody is really happy. PC players are unhappy because they feel like they're getting beaten unfairly by controller users due to aim assist, and console players who feel like they're getting beaten unfairly due to cheaters. Now, I think that there are solutions to this that can please everybody. I'm certainly not in favor of rolling back crossplay or canceling it entirely, as it does always ensure that there will always be people to play with, and it allows people to play with each other if they're gaming on different platforms. I mean, I have friends who game on consoles that I wouldn't be able to play with if not for crossplay. I do think there is a better way to implement it that would make everybody happy, or at least more people than happy than are now. The first solution is to try to dial in the aim assist to give controller players an advantage that's just enough to feel fair. This would be difficult and a lot of people would be unconvinced no matter how tight you had it tuned, because people just like to complain and cope. But I think this would be the way to fix it if you want to keep consoles and PC players playing together, and to keep the multiplayer community alive longer by keeping the community of the game together rather than on two separate platforms, really. Console and PC, that would be. This would have to be done alongside some very diligent anti-cheat methods. Better anti-cheat methods than they have now, because I've been hearing complaints about it, and I'm not dialed into the whole Modern Warfare community, so I play the games occasionally when they come out. I plan to get Modern Warfare 2 when I have the money for it. Getting back on topic, the second solution would be to make separate playlists for consoles and PC and a crossplay playlist. So you would have one playlist that would be console, it'd be the crossplay playlist where there's console and PC players that you'd have to pick, and then there'd be another separate one for, if you're on consoles, it'd be console only, and PC, it'd be PC only. This would certainly make the console players happy, as this would lead to them encountering less cheaters, and PC players might be happy to know that they aren't getting killed by aim assists, but this would fragment the player base, as I'm afraid that nobody would really use the crossplay playlist. I mean, everybody's already bitching about crossplay anyway. The third solution would be to allow people to turn crossplay on and off at their leisure, which seems to be what everybody's advocating for, at least that I've seen, or what most people are advocating for. But this leads to the same problem as the previous solution, that I feel like everybody would just turn off crossplay, and then what's the point of even having crossplay to begin with? Other than, you know, being able to play with friends and stuff, it still wouldn't solve the problem of the communities dying either on console or PC respectively. There's no point in even having crossplay at that point, in my opinion. I think something does need to be done about this, because I think it's causing a huge problem in multiplayer shooters specifically. When I get killed, I want to know that it's because the other player is actually better than me, not because they have a fucking stupid aimbot that aims for him and plays the game for him. Likewise, I want to know that I'm on a somewhat even footing with my opponent and that they don't have an unfair advantage, because let's face it, if the aim assist is too strong on consoles, no matter how good you are with mouse and keyboard, how accurate you are, you're never going to beat a computer. So you're always going to be at an innate disadvantage, and we've seen that. Now, some people might argue that, hey, you know, just learn to play controller if it's so much better. That's ridiculous. That's a stupid argument. I mean, I could easily argue for the aim assist to be taken out completely, and then just tell console players to learn the keys if they want to compete and go fuck themselves. But I don't, because I'm not up my own asshole, and I wouldn't expect somebody to play in a way that they don't prefer just to stay competitive. My point with this video is to say that I do think crossplay is salvageable for multiplayer shooters, and I think aim assist is definitely a tool that helps to even the score, and a good case could be made that it's necessary to keep an even playing field. I do, however, think that the current implementation of these things in a lot of modern shooters can be a bit wrong, and I think it's something that developers are going to have to get used to working with, as this is a relatively recent problem. Let me know what you think. You know, do you like crossplay? Do you think it should be disableable? What solution do you think would be the best? Do you agree with me? Disagree? You know, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Faded Zephyr signing out.